You've been hit by Truck Kun too much. You can't do this anymore.
Right, yeah. your Truck Kun limit has been reached.
Yeah.
The truck
You
driver
are no
has
longer
retired.
allowed. Right.
Yeah. He's like, my insurance won't cover this anymore. Like, you guys
like,
have to stop.
I promise it's not my fault.
Right.
Yeah.
My isekai insurance premium is through the roof.
We need an
like,
anime about the truck driver who's just like,
Right.
Dude, that would be so funny.
From fantasy to CDL, reincarnated as a truck driver in the real world. Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is The Anime Effect. Each week we bring you the latest news and views from the shows you love. It's pop culture with an anime lens. We are not only welcoming today a special guest for our main story, but they're also our guest host this week to talk about her brand new book,
Hell yeah, brother.
The Essential Manga Guide, 50 series every manga fan should know. Crunchyroll editorial community marketing manager and author Bri Lawrence is here.
oh my gosh. The reception.
that
That was beautiful.
It peaked in my ears. I was like, it's like
excitement.
an electric shock.
It's palpable.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so
And
excited.
And Bri is also like just a real life magical girl.
I try to be.
And writes about magical girls, has a
That's true.
spectacular
That's true.
magical girl series. Hopefully we'll get to chat about that even more.
We're going to get into all of it. We're going to talk about all of it.
Every single bit.
We already know Bri, so it's like, we're going to get right to it. The
Yeah.
hard questions.
No introduction, no
Yes.
backstory, no nothing.
What is this Dateline? Like, what is happening?
How do you feel about the geopolitical?
But yeah, we love Bri. We're so glad to have you. And so we're actually going to have you break down the news with us. And this week we've got some exciting reports, such as a favorite anime getting a season 3, about 100,000 Anime Expo panels, some of which you'll see these two on,
That's true.
What's up?
and other premieres to share, and some OPs truly getting the recognition they deserve, and so much more.
I'm your host, Nick Friedman.
It's me, LeAlec Murray.
And I'm Leah President.
Is it my turn? Do I get to introduce myself?
Yes, it's your turn.
Yes.
It's your turn.
I am Bri Lawrence.
And the four of us together are going to see just how powerful the effect of anime
And manga really is.
Hell yeah.
Hands in.
It's like the most
hands in.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
It's like the most like pre-K like children's programming ass like
You know what?
Really
Hey,
is.
you know what, man?
And you're the teacher. You're the
But-
kindergarten teacher.
I mean, we're basically like anime reading Rainbow, so you know.
yeah,
I
okay.
was actually
yeah. Last
watching-
week's episode is really appropriate for small children.
It was definitely not.
I was
It was
actually
definitely not.
watching Between the Lions.
Oh.
Like they have like the full series on YouTube.
like
I was
lions.
watching. Yeah, Between the Lions.
It's a yeah. The
Hey
it's like the
now.
family
Core
of
memory
lions. Yeah,
unlocked.
Hey how.
You know,
memory.
Hey,
you know what I saw this
wow.
morning? You want to talk about core memory? Wishbone.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
just on the
I
internet
don't know.
talking about
What is
Wishbone.
Did you know for the longest time I got Wishbone and the Target dog confused?
Really?
Nick.
Yeah.
Huh.
How?
Come on,
Boo.
They're two different dogs, man.
Is Wishbone
The
not a
target
similar
dog is
dog?
sinister.
This
in my
is-
opinion.
Okay, hold on. We got to unpack this for a second. We got to unpack this.
He's
I
scary
thought
looking.
we were going to go into whatever I was talking about, but we got to talk about why you think the mascot dog from Target is sinister.
Right.
It's scary.
How's
what do you mean?
How?
That specific breed of dog looks like a sentient like alien that's
Because
like
what is
come
he?
to
A
spy
Jack?
on humanity.
Is it
And
a
it's
Jack
like
Russell Terrier?
it
Is
looks
that
like
what
the
it is?
suggestion of a dog.
What are you talking about?
Let me
First of all dogs are
yeah.
puppies, no matter what.
Fact.
Bree's got a
Except
point.
the
Bree's got a
target
point.
dog.
No.
You don't just stop randomly in the Target and take your picture
You're
on the
telling
bench
me-
with the Target dog.
You're
You don't
telling
do that?
me that this dog doesn't inspire fear.
No,
I can't
not
see
at
the
all.
picture. You have to show me.
Not at all.
Cute.
He's adorable.
This is going to be really great for our fans who are listening.
Yes.
Go ahead, describe the dog.
The dog looks like the dog version of that one scary bird with the giant beak that like stares at you. You know the meme bird?
You're just going deeper and deeper into.
We learned
a
something
rabbit
new
hole.
about
Yeah,
Leah
not.
this episode. I'm excited.
It inspires fear.
This is where
like-
we're going.
Breaking news: the Anime Effect podcast canceled for hating on the Target
Is this
doll.
like,
Right,
the
like-
Junji
I
Ito
don't- I
cat
think-
book for you? Like,
Right.
This bird. Okay. Tell me it doesn't look like the. Here, hold on.
Oh, that's the dirty foot bird.
dirty foot bird.
Yeah, that bird looks like a dirty foot.
oh my gosh.
Why are we having discourse about the Target
That
dog?
bird
I think we could find
is
a-
handsome.
Why is it called the dirty foot bird?
I just think the bird looks like a dirty foot.
Okay. So it's a personal classification.
I thought we
Don't
were
try
just,
and put this back on me. You're the one who's hating the Target
The
doll.
I
Target
thought we were
dog.
just gonna open the show, having a good time, unlocking
Now we're
core memories
unlocking
about
trauma
PBS shows,
and-
and now we're unlocking trauma.
I thought we were gonna have a good time hating on that
No,
dog.
you just assumed. You just assumed. You're like, oh, what's one thing everyone can relate to? Hating a dog.
Why do
Let's
you
all
think
just
they
hate this
retired that
together.
dog?
They didn't retire the dog.
They just made him a cartoon.
They just made him a cartoon.
The only chain dog that I adore is the Taco Bell dog.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
You picked the Taco Bell dog over the Target dog?
Yo quiero.
Okay.
Taco Bell.
We got to
dog.
get into the show.
So up next, we're going to be sharing all the anime news we care about, including who you're going to see on some upcoming Anime Expo panels this year, hint, hint. The next batch of anime films coming to streaming and the big screen, and 7 anime shows coming to Crunchyroll this year. Stick around for all that and more. Okay, so we're going to hop into the news. We seriously have so much to discuss this week, but there's one story that our producer was weirdly adamant that we highlight right away.
It's not weird. If you know our producer, it's not weird.
But I think a lot of people are also going to care about it. So, Nick, what show is coming back?
Yeah, I don't think it's like weirdly adamant that our producer Kyla was talking about this one, considering it was probably the biggest news of the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird at all.
No.
Regardless, she would have twisted our arm anyways.
Which is that Spy Family Season 3 has been officially announced.
Hell yeah,
yes.
brother. Let's go.
Good.
Let's
yes,
go.
good.
Rightfully
Yes,
so.
good. Yes, good.
They confirmed that Season 3 is in production. There's no release date right now. And that's pretty much it for right now. But it's exciting because, you know, this show's coming off of like 2 really successful seasons.
Mhm.
The
movie.
cruise
movie.
ship arc,
Yeah.
which is one of my
Mhm.
favorites.
Yeah, cruise ship arc
It's
was
coming off of the movie,
Yep.
Code
The
White.
movie was
It was
so
awesome.
cute.
So I'm really excited. Speaking of AX, though, and we're going to talk about AX in a second.
Ooh.
You can pick one piece of Spy Family merch to find at AX this year. What is it?
Ooh.
I really desperately want a figure of all 4 of them together. So like Lloyd and Anya
Yeah.
and Yor and Bond, just all like a cute family like figure, like super high quality and amazing. Because I've got separate figures of them like individually,
Yeah.
but I want one where it's like all of them like together and being cute. That's my
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah, just like one big.
Like a family,
Yeah.
like they're taking
Yeah.
a family
Yeah.
portrait.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the actual family portrait like recreated would be so cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So if one of you find the one at AX,
oh,
you can-
yeah, I'll find it and I'll immediately send you a picture and I'll ship it to you.
I thought you were going to say, and I'll just send you a picture of it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to
I'll
send it
ship
to you.
Hey, guess what I found?
What if the only one you find is like a 1-to-1 figure?
Like
and
a full like
it's like $46,000.
Oh, Lord.
just like an Anya, like
can I
as
say?
American Girl doll size Anya.
that would be so cute.
That would be cute.
That would be so cute.
Well, we will probably have more on Spy Family Season 3 as we learn more details about
Yes.
it. Until then, we'll be catching up on the manga,
Mhm.
but it's time to talk about Anime Expo.
Of course.
So we teased this a little bit last week with the news that LeAlec and I are going to be hosting the Bocchi the Rock panel
Hell yeah, brother.
at Anime Expo
If you're there, pull up. It's gonna be fun.
with director Kichiro Saito and Yoshino Ayama. I'm really excited.
Yeah, dude. It's quickly become one of my favorite anime.
Yep.
Like, I'm excited to do this panel. Like,
Absolutely.
gradually more excited to do this panel.
I just think, like, to your point, like the energy in that room is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
gonna be great.
with-
I'll be in the front row with like a foam finger. Like, yeah, I know them.
But that's not the only panel that Leah and I are hosting.
It is not.
We are hosting the Crunchyroll Presents Kadokawa anime panel.
Yeah.
You know what that means. There's going to be isekai.
Pudding all over the place.
Isekai. Is that the sound? Beep boop bop bop. And then LeAlec is actually going to be on another panel called Revenge of the Blurreds, Black Love of Anime.
Booked and busy.
Oh, that sounds so
along
good.
along with friend of the show, Jamal Williams.
Hey, hell yeah. I'm excited.
That's amazing.
Everybody pull up, please. That's
such a cool dude.
No, I'm really excited to do that panel too. Like that was one of my, I guess, first bookings for AX this year. And I was like, okay, like I can't say anything about it yet. But no, and the fact that we got friend of the show, Jamal Williams.
And that was such a good interview. If you're watching right now, open another tab and watch that interview because it was really, really fun.
At the same time, have
both
episodes
simultaneously.
One in one ear, one in the other.
I'm kind of like, I don't know if you guys saw it over the weekend, but he went to the Pokemon Championships.
Yeah,
and he was like doing an interview. So I was like, yeah, we know what kind of time he's going to be on.
I want to go to the Pokemon Championships so bad.
Same, dude.
But also, there's going to be a bunch of premieres at Anime Expo this year. So one that I'm really excited about is Senpai Isn't Otokonoko.
Yes.
It seems right
I'm
up your alley.
so
Seems
excited
right
for that one.
It's going to be good. I believe there is a ReZero premiere happening for season 3.
Yes.
And at the Kadokawa anime panel that Lee and I are hosting, there's going to be a sneak peek at the new Overlord, the Sacred Kingdom movie.
Be ready.
So,
there you go for all you fantasy fans out there.
Fantasy fans.
A little dosage of adrenaline.
Oh, for sure. Anime fans, isekai fans, fans of skeletons, pull up. We're here. We're doing it.
All you spooky, scary skeleton fans,
just pull up
to the function.
Pull up.
We're going to give you what you want, bro.
Magical skeleton. Just pull up.
I mean, there's just it's just the one. It's the one skeleton. But so if you get like fans of multiple skeletons,
but it's a good skeleton.
There's only going to be one.
Right.
So there
I
may
just
be
got the
expectation.
Mr. Skullhead song stuck in my head from like Tiny Toons when we were talking about skeletons. If you don't start the panel with that song playing, then what are you doing? What?
Yeah, what are we doing?
And of course, because we announced, because Crunchyroll announced all these panels and premieres, we did a little bit of extra announcing before Anime Expo. So the Bocchi the Rock recap movies are officially coming to theaters in North America.
We're totally going to go.
Oh, we're totally
going to
go. Like, this is one of those shows where, like, I'll watch the series multiple times. I will watch the recap movies. So parts 1 and 2 will be coming to theaters.
I want to be in a room full of people watching Bocchi. That sounds like a good time.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So dates and ticket info are still to come, so stick with us. But yeah, ahead of the panel, we wanted to get that news out there.
Heck yeah.
And then just a little bit more, and by a little bit, I mean a lot because we announced 7 new anime series that are coming to Crunchyroll, starting with some that'll be this summer. I'm just going to list these off, not with dates or anything. They're all at different times. So After School Hanako-kun is returning. There's also Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, which feels like it'll be right up the rom-com alley.
It will be, and it sounds hilarious. I'm ready.
We have Arifureta from Commonplace to World's Strongest Season 3. So for the isekai fans out there, this one's coming back.
Exactly. You're getting the hang of it.
I understand the excitement. I got it.
Oh my gosh. We talked a little bit about a cheerleading anime last year, but Nade Nade Cheer for You is also one of these, as well as No Longer Allowed in Another World. Is that isekai?
That sounds like an isekai.
It's like looked at me right in the eye.
It sounds like someone getting like barred from being in an isekai.
You've been hit by Truck-kun too much. You can't do this anymore.
Right, yeah. your Truck-kun limit has been reached.
Yeah.
The truck driver
you are no
has
longer
retired.
allowed. Right.
Yeah. He's like, my insurance won't cover this anymore. Like, you guys have to stop.
I promise it's not my fault.
Right.
Yeah.
My isekai insurance premium is through the roof.
We need an
like,
anime about the truck driver who's just like,
right.
Dude, that would be so funny.
From fantasy to CDL, reincarnated as a truck driver in the real world.
He's like so fed up with like having to like pay higher insurance premiums from like hitting so many people that he's like, I'm gonna jump in front of a truck now.
I'm gonna Truck-kun myself.
Yeah.
And then he just how about reincarnated as a truck?
No, that would be so funny, like perpetual truck-coon, like.
But I see it being very much like reincarnated as a vending machine.
Yes. So speaking of vehicles, one of the other shows that we announced is MF Ghost.
That was a nice segue.
That was a
which
brilliant
is
segue.
Segway is also a vehicle.
Yeah.
MF
Imagine
Ghost.
getting isekai'd by a Segway, bro.
That sounds like some Konosuba, like nonsense.
Or
Yes.
like a full Segway tour, like going down the street and they all hit you at once. Like,
in slow motion.
yeah, they're all going on like a city tour.
Do you want to hear the rest of the shows come into
Yeah.
MF Ghost Season 2. We talked about MF Ghost a little bit with Sarah last week in the game as
Yep.
well. And the one I'm probably most excited about, which does not have a release date just yet, Witch Hat Atelier.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's happening. There is a panel at Anime Expo.
Hell yeah, brother.
And y'all, I can't recommend this manga enough. Have you checked it out, Bri? As our
So
manga
this
expert?
is like up my wife's alley, and she started the first volume and was like, "Oh my god!" and it's so fun because she'll tell me things that are happening that I already know because I work at Crunchyroll. So she'll be like, "And it was announced," and I'm like, "I know, I know, I know it was." So, but yeah, she really really likes it, and I've seen some of the artwork, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" So
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great.
incredible. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Like that's the part that I think is going to really blow people away. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. We don't know what it looks like,
Right.
but even just judging from the covers of the manga, like there is a high probability this thing looks amazing
Mm-hmm.
in motion. So if you're not familiar, Witch Hat Atelier is about a girl who desperately wants to be a witch despite being born without magical abilities. She has a chance meeting with a magician who practices magic in a new way, and she kind of realizes that her dream to do magic might not be dead just yet.
I love this dude.
So-
Like, I don't know. Like, I think I've been just inundated with a lot of stories about like the MCs that want to do something but can't, and they have the opportunity to.
yes.
And I just love stories like that. This is gonna be great.
Agreed. And while you're waiting, I definitely recommend checking out Mashal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know something about Mashal, let me tell
as
you.
well as Little Witch Academia.
Yes.
Little Witch
Little
Academia is
Witch.
great. That's a Trigger joint.
That
yeah?
is Trigger, yeah.
It's so good.
I love Little Witch.
Yeah. The summer of sports anime continues.
Yes.
Oh,
This one's for Bri. Wait, Bri, have you seen this one? Have you seen this show?
what is the show?
Blue Lock. Have you seen Blue Lock?
Of course, I've seen Blue Lock.
Okay, good. All right. That's the preface. Blue Lock, the movie, episode Nagi.
Oh, so
Yes.
excited.
Tickets are now on sale. It opens in theaters starting June 27th. That's this month. Can you, like, the back-to-back of Haikyuu to
Uh-huh.
Blue Lock?
I can't deal, man. Like, the sports vibes are real. I mean, like, these two movies are happening. NBA Finals is happening.
Yeah.
I don't watch.
Oh, you're like in sports
hockey.
paradise, huh?
Oh, I'm in sports paradise. I mean,
I play pickleball,
He played pickleball. Like, the sports vibes are immaculate right now. What are we doing?
and they're equal between the two
And
of
they're
us.
equal. What's happening?
Bri, for those who aren't aware of Blue Lock, how would you describe it?
Oh man, how do you describe Blue Lock? So
Right.
it's like battle royale meets soccer, but in the best
Yes,
way possible. It's
Absolutely.
the main character is the traditional sports anime guy who wants to win the big match, and he loses, and
Yeah.
he loses because he doesn't take the shot. It's got like one of the best first episodes for sports anime
it
because
really does.
as
It
someone
really
who watches
does.
sports anime, I thought I knew what I was getting, and they set up this guy to be
Same.
the main character, and he's out in like the
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
where is he going? And they're like, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. He's
Yeah.
not the
He's
star. And it's like,
just
but
done.
he's got the white hair. He's a white haired
Right.
character. You know the
Yeah.
rules.
and it's done immediately.
And they're like, we
However-
don't follow the rules here at Blue Lock.
And it's because there's only room for one white-haired character, and that's not.
And that's
not
Nagi. Yep. There can only be one.
Another anime film.
Yep.
This one's hitting streaming on Netflix
Mhm.
later this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Sailor Moon Cosmos,
Ooh.
the final chapter
Oh.
of the Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon series, officially premieres August 22nd on Netflix with
Wow.
both parts of the Cosmos movie.
It's been 30 some years,
That's
so
gonna
we're
be
finally
fun.
getting the ending to Sailor Moon animated in the US.
It's,
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
it's been
wild,
84
right?
years.
Like to go
Crazy.
from, what we had growing up
Yeah.
with Sailor
Uh-huh.
Moon in the
Yeah.
US to seeing this story through. I mean, What is that like for y'all? I mean, I haven't seen all of it. I've obviously seen the original. But
I think if I remember correctly, I think I finished season 1 of Pretty Guardian, and it's just an amazing art. Like when they announced the 2 films are coming to Netflix, I was like, how does this look even more amazing than it did when I started watching Pretty Guardian? Like, I don't understand. But as you know, a lot of us at this table grew up with Sailor Moon being kind of at that apex, and more so, of course, the OG one. It's kind of surreal.
It was already legend when I was growing up. It was like already established legend.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking about that now because I grew up in the time where Sailor Moon wasn't here yet. So at the start, and the fact that it's like, it took this long to get to the end. Like, it's been over in Japan for a while, but now it's like, now we can finally see the end of the story. And that's really cool.
Moving on to our last news item for the week. A little bit of a celebration for an anime opening that kind of took over the world earlier this year. It feels like there's one of these every 6 months where it's like, oh yeah, this broke every record.
Yeah. Of course.
So Mashal, Magic and Muscles, the second OP, you already know it. It's Bling Bang Bang Born.
So good.
Has topped Billboard Japan's song charts for the first half of 2024.
So good,
nice.
Dude. It's so good.
It placed on 13 charts for the first time in history, which is wild.
Wow.
It's been streamed almost 350 million times since January 7th.
I think 349 million of those is from me. Just from me streaming it constantly.
Obviously, it trended on TikTok
because of the Jersey squeak.
Yep.
If you haven't had a chance yet, on the Crunchyroll TikTok channel, there's a clip from Creepy Nuts, the band that did this song, performing it on First Take.
The First Take. Yeah. That whole First Take performance is chef's kiss. Please, just go out of your way and watch it.
I love First Take.
Oh, it's so good.
It's awesome.
It's actually the second fastest song in Billboard Japan history to surpass 300 million. Can you guess who holds the record?
Is it like Demon Slayer or something?
It is not.
That's
Gurenge.
what I thought it would have been. Oh, it's not.
It's not Gurenge.
Okay. What is it?
It is Idol.
Oh, no way!
Really?
Yoasobi.
Yep.
That's not surprising.
Yoasobi.
I was
Yoasobi's
also
Idol.
streaming that song on repeat.
It holds the record.
Wow.
Next up, we finally get to talk all about Bri's new book, Essential Manga Guide, 50 series every manga fan should know, plus magical girl anime, queer manga and anime that Bri is sharing on her blog, and more. All of that is coming up next. All right. We are officially in the main section of the episode.
What is that voice?
You know what? You didn't. That's Nick's spontaneous
he takes
radio
on a
voice.
character
Yeah.
Is that the Peter Parker
extra
pretending to be from like Queen's voice?
You're kind of disappointed, bro.
All right, real quick, retroactive extra for the news segment.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't wear my outfit this week.
You did not put on the newsboy fit.
Yeah.
I am disappointed. There was no extra.
Leah, I love in last week's episode where you're like, we love to dress him up.
We love
dressing him up.
Go put on the outfit.
Do it, or you get the hose again.
It's like
and why aren't you in uniform?
In American Psycho, where he's like, don't wear that outfit again. Don't wear that outfit again.
All right, it is main story time. Bri, we will intro you in as we do with all of our special guests. With a little twist.
With a twist.
What was your gateway anime and your gateway manga?
Because we have to know both.
I'm excited.
Ooh, we got the one too.
Bri is the manga expert.
I'm the expert, huh?
Yes.
Extra.
Yeah, extra, expert, no jutsu.
Okay, so the first anime I ever saw was Vampire Hunter D. And it was, I remember how I saw it. I was in 5th grade, so it was 1993. And this kid was telling us about this cartoon he saw on TV, and he described it as a cartoon, but not really a cartoon. And we were like, what does that mean?
Okay, what does that even mean?
It's like, I don't know. And there was no dedicated channel or anything. It was just on TV. So I was flipping through channels and I saw the part where like, Dee's hand was talking and I was like, what is that? And then I went down the rabbit hole shortly after. But Vampire Hunter D was the first anime. And Nick, you know this, I actually have my first manga and this comes with a story. I have to grab it. But I found my first ever manga over like the winter. My dad passed away, but I got to go through all of his stuff and he kept the Dragon Ball Z comic books.
Wow.
He bought for me in high school.
Way to go, Dad.
So I was going through the comics and I was like, no way. So he brought these home when I was in high school and all he did was like, this is the thing that my kid likes. So he got them from Toys R Us. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. And I was like, oh, cool. They made comics about Goku. That's neat. And I didn't know what manga was. None of us knew what it was. We were like, oh, they just made a comic book based on Dragon Ball Z. And then later we were like, oh, wait, the anime is based on a manga, not the other way around. But that was my first ever manga. And I posted the pictures on Twitter. They have little icons of Goku running in the direction to tell you what to read. Because we didn't know.
That's awesome.
So when you open a book, I remember opening it going instinctively the American way. It was like, wait, this is the back. Where's the front of the book? And my dad's like, I don't know. I just know that you really like this thing. And so that started my manga journey. And this was like back when like the big books were printed the opposite way, which I actually found. I have a lot of books on this table to go through. So like I found this one. And it's actually printed like the wrong way. So it goes like the wrong direction.
So which one is that?
It's Utena.
For people listening.
Revolutionary Girl Utena. And it's printed like the American way instead of the way we know.
I love that cover.
I know it's a really good cover, but
it's a really good cover.
It's interesting. There's like the pipeline from like the big trades that are, the left to right to the Viz floppies that were right to left.
Yes.
To monthly Shonen Jump, to actual, right to left manga releases.
That's the thing that happened with Rebound.
Crazy.
Which is why it took so long for us to figure out that basketball manga, which was like my gateway manga, is because like they went a certain number of volumes and then like they printed the other set the other way and like rebranded it and stuff. Some of the first manga I read, it's so embarrassing. I was like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to read it backwards. And I read it the other way, but I still read it left to right. So I started at the back, but I read it left to right.
Oh my
the
God.
Panels.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. Okay, so Bri.
Yeah.
You've written a number of books. You've self-published your series. You had your first published book. Was that late last year or earlier this year? I can't remember.
Earlier this year was the first through a publisher. And so the Manga Guide is the second through a publisher, which is wild to think about. It's amazing, but also
wildly awesome.
Wildly
so I have
awesome,
to know, like,
yeah.
What inspired this book specifically in going from, your previous works, which are very character focused, they're original character ideas from you, to basically building this essential guide for fans?
So, like, I love manga. I've loved anime and manga for, like, most of my life. And I was telling someone, I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to write books. I never thought that meant pop culture coverage at all. Because we didn't know that was a thing. So it's like, one day I'm going to write a book. And so writing fiction made sense. But writing nonfiction was, like, a brand new world. But manga is this thing that always makes me feel things. Like, I always find something to relate to in manga all the time. There's always like a character or a story. And I'd been writing essays for like other websites previously anyway, because I always I like looking at media and finding like the message that I feel in it. And I think I wrote about like Kiki's Delivery Service for my previous job, and like finding it as an adult and writing about burnout and how it was this thing where it was like, usually when you find media and later in life that you missed out in childhood, you don't relate to it as much. But for some reason, anime and manga, I will still relate to as an adult. Like, even if it's like decades old, like, oh no, I definitely relate to Kiki, even if she's like, 30 years younger than me. And that got me connected with the publisher for this book, and they're like, do you want to write a manga guide? And I was like, do I get to pick the titles? And they were like, yes. Yeah. I was like, cool. I will make you a list. And I thought it was going to be so easy. And I looked at the list. It was so long. It was way longer than 50 because there's so many stories that I relate to and that I love. And so I had to narrow it down, which was difficult, even to this day.
How did you narrow it down?
Yeah, what was that process?
Oh my God. Oh.
Traumatic flashback.
Traumatic flashback. This is the Akira meme where it's like, Akira! No, leave me alone. So first I would ask my wife for help. Like, I know a lot of, for those who don't know, my wife is also a very huge anime and manga fan. She's the reason why it exploded more for me, because when we met, this was back in the early Toonami days, and she was like, I can show you more anime that's not on Toonami. And I was like, whoa, really? And then we got married. But so I was like, oh, where do I start? And so I gave myself guidelines, you have to pick one title per mangaka, which is impossible for Clamp and
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. It was I had to narrow it down to one, and since I get to make recommendations, that made it a little bit easier. And then there was things like, which series did I get introduced to first? So as much as I love Hunter x Hunter, I got introduced to Yu Yu Hakusho first. So I would write about Yu Yu Hakusho, and then of course, I had to have a bunch of queer manga, obviously, because it's me. And there's so many queer stories that are so amazing. And I was like, I need to cover that. But I reached a point where there was probably close to 100. And then I just had to which ones speak to you the most was how I kind of figured it out. Which ones do you actually have a connection to, and which genres do you want to cover? Because I'm always telling people you should pick by genre versus a top 10 best list. So you want to show the wide range of shonen titles and the impact it leaves. So yes, have Dragon Ball, but also have Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and all these other ones, My Hero Academia, or write about them in unique ways and just showing that why we love manga so much and why it makes us feel the way we do. It's yes, we get attached to the fight scenes in Dragon Ball, but we get more attached to the characters and their stories. And the reason why we care about the fights in Shonen is because we care about the characters. So
yes, absolutely.
Highlight the characters. It's yes, the fights in My Hero Academia are amazing, but I care about Class 1A. And I care about Deku facing burnout and stress and fatigue. So it's cover that. And it's yes, Chainsaw Man looks wild and ridiculous, but deep down it is this really, really well told story about 500 different themes.
Bri, one of the things that I really love about your writing is how personal it is.
Wow.
I feel like in the world of entertainment coverage, it's very easy to fall into leaning too hard into things like clickbait and guides that are catering to an algorithm and not to people.
Yeah.
Right. And so one of the things that I really love, obviously, about your work with Crunchyroll News is that you find the perfect middle ground between the two.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Yeah. And I'll gas you up all day.
Yeah.
But learning that about this guide is that this could have easily been a list of the 50 most popular manga.
Oh yeah. Right? Oh yeah, easily.
But this is a guide that is, it's from you as a manga fan, as someone who has grown up and become an adult in this space and has experienced all of these things. And I think for fans, that is a lot more valuable than a list of the highest rated manga series.
I agree. And Bri, you brought up a point where it's just use the shonen example, right? We don't love shonen because it's, hey, we have people fighting. We love it because of the characters that are involved.
Exactly.
I am a Gohan sympathizer through and through.
Yes.
And people are like, oh man, Gohan. I'm like, but no. It's you have to understand that my connection with this character is different from what your connection is with this character.
Yep.
So, when you actually finally see him in the superhero movie actually really get his moment, it was such a big payoff for me. Because I was like, oh, my boy he is achieved. He is peaked. But I mean, you're, for lack of a better term, you using the heart of the cards to pick your title.
Yeah.
I think is I think it's a good way to go about a book like this, because I think, there's going to be something in here for everyone.
Sure. Were there any titles that you were surprised that you did include? And were there titles you were surprised that you did not include?
Oh my gosh. None of the stuff that's in there surprises me. I think my what I ended up writing about for someone of surprised me, like what I wrote about for Dragon Ball and like for Bleach and any older title where I was like a kid when I first got introduced to it, writing about it as like a 40-year-old and looking back on it. Sailor Moon was a big one because as a kid, I had a way different perspective on Sailor Moon than I do as an adult. Because as an adult now, I'm like, I want all my characters to be able to rest and like have peace. And so all the characters who get the like annoying label when I read it as an adult, and I'm like, oh, you're just a teenager who wants to like be able to eat cake peacefully and not have to like watch your friends die. So I'm like, I'm so sorry, Sailor Moon. I didn't realize that when I was like, 10. But and there's a lot of like essays that I would write and feel like that while I was writing it, like looking back on things. And like, it's cool looking back like 30 years later and be like, oh, my thought process for Dragon Ball has changed. Like now I am more of a Gohan sympathizer, but like as a kid, not so much because I was his age. And so it was like, why aren't you saving the world? And Nick, I like wrote about a giant apology feature about Chi-Chi for Mother's Day because I was like, I thought you were so annoying when I was a kid. But as an adult, I'm like, I can't believe you had to watch your son go to these battles constantly from age 4. It's rough.
Like, it's the same vibe that like now that I'm looking back at Breaking Bad, I'm like, Skylar deserves justice.
Oh yeah.
Skylar was the one that was actually being level-headed.
Are you shaking your head no?
Justice for Skylar.
There's a big difference between
Skylar. I'm so sorry I hated you, Skylar.
There's a big difference between watching Breaking Bad at 17 and watching it now.
Oh, see,
how could you give them money?
Here's the difference. I totally missed out on Breaking Bad. Like I didn't complete Breaking Bad for the first time until about a year ago.
Oh wow.
Damn. Yeah. So you just have
and
a bad
opinion
on
it. And you still don't like Skylar.
I mean, I love the show. Like, I think the show and Better Call Saul are absolutely fantastic. But I think because, I watched it later than everybody else, like, my opinions are definitely different.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
One of my favorite things to do is look at how anime and manga impacts, like, creators we know, like Rebecca Sugar with Steven Universe and the people behind My Adventures with Superman, the new Ninja Turtles, and they're all like unapologetically like, I grew up with the same stuff you did. Now I'm telling my own stories, and you watch it, you're like, oh, I see the Sailor Moon, I see the Utena, I see the Host Club, I see all of this stuff, and it's cool seeing like this medium impact us that much. All these industry professionals who are like making amazing work, and then you see Superman do a magical girl transformation sequence.
Yes.
And you're just like, were you watching Sailor Moon too? And they're like, yeah, we're also anime and manga kids. And and now we're adults and we're showing people what this means to us and like how that story like impacts all of us.
You're an expert not just in the magical girl anime and manga that you've, experienced and consumed yourself, but you create magical girl stories.
Ooh.
I have a signed stack of books that prove so.
And let me, if I get this title right, In Search of Superpowers, a fantasy pin world adventure.
Yes.
Boom.
That's the Enamel Pen story.
So one, go buy that book in addition to this one. But two, what makes a good magical girl story for you?
For me, I always, and lately I've been doing this a lot because I have my self-published magical girl series, Magnifique Noir, which is Black queer magical girls. So it's Sailor Moon.
Buy that also, guys.
Yes, also buy that. But
buy all the books.
But
buy all the books.
I always feel like what makes a good magical girl story for me is when the character is allowed to have a life outside of the magical girl space. So I really got attached to like what blew my mind with Sailor Moon back in the day, besides the fact that I was seeing a group of girls be the heroes for the first time in my life, was that they also like talked about other things, and they also had like a friendship outside of being heroes. So it was really cool to see like besides the fact that we go to school, we also like go hang out at the arcade and we like talk about our crushes, and we actually have lives, and then we get to go be superheroes. And I always thought that was cool that they were well-rounded, fleshed out characters. Like they really felt like normal people who just had extraordinary powers. And even while they're fighting, they're still themselves. Like they still like freak out, you know, when the battle's too intense, or they're like, I don't know how to beat the monster. What do I do? And it's like, well, yeah, that's how I would react too if
of course.
If like a talking cat,
what do I do?
How do I beat giant squid?
Yeah, if a talking cat told me I was like meant to be a magical warrior and gave me a transformation locket and told me to go fight this monster who in the first episode is like Sailor Moon's best friend's mom, and I would be freaking out too. And that's always what makes a good I feel like this is a genre where they're allowed to like explore being themselves while saving the world.
When we were working together for Women's History Month here at Crunchyroll, I loved hearing your insight on like what makes like a perfect magical girl. Like what are the components that make up like the modern magical girl? And, you know, that community aspect you talked about, like being able to rely on your friends and not being the only one, like with the shoulder of responsibility and like finding your inner strength. I really like, because sometimes the genre itself can be a little bit underestimated and the characters underestimated just because it's like, ooh, sparkly, shiny, pretty, pink, like sailor outfits. I feel like sometimes people can like, underestimate it and put it in a corner, but it has so much more depth than that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed there. We had to kind of spring this on you because I know that you're always wanting to talk about it.
What does LeAlec say? Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. There you go. Got it.
Bri, you have a queer manga review blog with your wife called Well, Are They?
Yeah, my wife. It's technically my wife's blog, and I was doing a queer manga book club on there, and then I got incredibly busy, so she's been doing it this whole time. But yeah, I go to the bookstore a lot.
Same.
And I always say I'm gonna buy like 1 or 2 books, and then I buy more, but
you walk out with like 5 bags of books, and you're like, "Am I going to read all of these this year?" Every time, every time.
But we met writing like Gundam Wing yaoi fanfiction.
Yeah.
Whoa! Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, I remember this story.
I don't know that you've told me this story.
Oh, okay. So,
I love this story.
So in 2001. I was on a Gundam Wing mailing list for Hero, Yui, and Duo Maxwell. I loved Duo. And I met this girl. And one day she told me she had a crush on another girl. And I got jealous. And then I realized, oh God, I like girls. That's what that means. And so
it goes a little something that.
It's its own rom-com manga moment. But we've been together ever since. And she's the one who like introduced me to canon queer content because we were writing fanfic, and she's like, you know, there's actually like canonical gay stories, and I was like, what? And so she introduced me to like Gravitation, which is coming back this month.
Gravitation is coming back.
They're re-releasing the manga this month. So it's being re-released. But we've been together ever since. So she speaks my language, and we've noticed that like since we met in 2001, it's been 23 years. And the
hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
and we noticed the amount of queer manga has increased significantly, and we were buying and reading so much of it. We were like, we should just make a blog where we talk about the books we get. And so she does it like once a month. She releases a newsletter of like all the books coming out. And it's astonishing because I feel like we went from like one or two titles to maybe like 30 to 50 per month. And
hell yeah.
And I'm like,
I
that's
was
so
gonna say it again.
amazing.
I almost just let it come out. Hell yeah, brother. But
hell yeah, brother.
That's right.
But that's her
amazing.
blog, and she talks about like all sorts of queer stuff because it's like the stuff we were looking for. Like I feel like a lot of us when we like come out, we're looking for something that like, hey, we're like that thing that you see. But in 2001, I didn't have a lot of examples, and I was like, where do I turn to? And now it's like, oh, here's a stack, of potential titles that cover all sorts of like gender and sexuality and all sorts of amazing topics.
We actually got a question this week from a fan. We usually ask these in the questions section in the mailbag where I put on my mailbag outfit. My mail person outfit.
Extra mailbag.
But we're going to bring it up to this section as we do sometimes. This one comes from @KinsTheGreat8959 on YouTube, who says, it's Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
It is.
Happy Pride Month.
It's a fact.
What are your favorite anime with an LGBT plus theme?
Oh. So I'm going to pivot it and say favorite manga, because manga has some of my favorites of like all time, I feel. I have a giant stack.
Let's go. Rattle them off. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to grab like the one that's like my favorite of all time. It's this one. It's called Our Dreams at Dusk.
I just ordered that.
It is so
it's literally on my
good.
bookshelf right now.
It will make you cry, but it's like one of the first manga I saw that has various gender and sexuality conversations with multiple characters. It's about a kid who sadly gets outed and he decides that he wants to unalive himself. But before he does it, he sees someone jump over the roof and he's like, oh my God, no. So he follows that person because they survive, because they're some sort of mystical being. At least that's what it looks like to him. And when he follows them, he finds this center full of different LGBTQ people of all various age ranges, all different identities. And because he's surrounded by them, he starts feeling more comfortable about himself. And there's this whole like sort of magical element at play. It's only 4 volumes. It's very, very good, but it will make you cry. But it also has some of the most validating like conversations, but it's fantastic. That's like my number one pick anytime someone asks me for like a queer manga rec.
Thank you, Bri. We'll be here forever if we just continue down this path. But I'm sure we've all been enjoying some anime or manga or games the past week. So let's share what we love. What time is it? It's time for Rex, baby.
Recommendations. I don't have an outfit for this one.
We got to get you.
What?
I don't know what it would be.
I don't know either. Right.
Who's like a famous recommendation giver? You can wear like a concierge outfit. Concierge.
That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna get mine out of the way because I don't want to be ridiculed any further. My rec for this week is actually the 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You. Which, that's right, everybody. It's the rom-com corner.
Oh, it's back. It's been too long.
Okay, 100 Girlfriends is, you might be like, oh, that's a pretty standard harem anime about a guy who a bunch of women like him. True, that is what this show is about. However, this main character sets off all the green flags consistently. He asks the permission of every single one of the girlfriends before he adds a new girlfriend to the group.
Okay.
He supports...
So they're like sister wives. What? Can I not say that?
I don't know if I want to have this conversation. 100 Girlfriends. There's one relationship where he is in a relationship with one of the girls and then is also now in a relationship with her mother at the same time.
Okay.
All
which
right.
is probably
certified game.
Which is probably a little problematic. However,
a little?
It is leaning into the tropes of harem anime. The main character is just like totally just oblivious. Like, yeah, what about, why not one more girlfriend? And I think they cover like 6 or 7 of them in the first season. But the reason why I'm recommending it this week is that season 2 has been confirmed for January.
Okay.
So you've got between now and January to watch all of the first. I feel like you're looking at me like there ain't no way I'm watching that.
No, I'll give it a chance.
Not on my list, brother.
I'll give it a chance.
Listen, if you've liked Rent-A-Girlfriend or Girlfriend, it's funny. It's really funny, very slapstick.
I thought the trailer was funny.
It's cute. Character designs are really cute. The art is cute. And it can be wholesome. At certain points, you're like, really? Are you sure?
Have we seen all 100? Like, do they all have like unique character designs that are
they
like
all
in the thing?
do.
Oh, wow.
Every
That's
one of the girlfriends is
crazy.
unique.
So
That's
just
like
gotta
that is
collect.
actually
endless
interesting.
content.
Yeah.
That they're all
Like if they
different.
only go over 6 or 7 in season 1, like that's a lot of content. Like
Yes.
they basically set themselves up for like the rom-com One Piece.
Yes.
That's gonna
I'm like
say the
6
One Piece
seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Nick would love it. Nick would love it.
Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of harem anime, but I love a good rom-com that knows how to be funny and cute at the same time. And this show kind of checks those boxes. So
Okay.
if you're looking for a new rom-com, check it out. We are now exiting Nick Friedman's rom-com corner. Leah, what's your recommendation for this week?
In the spirit of Pride Month,
Oh.
I am recommending this week my lesbian experience with loneliness.
That, oh my
I
God.
love it. It's a quick read too. So like, and it's like the author, it's autobiographical.
Mhm.
And it's about this, it's not just about like her sort of like coming out / like acceptance / exploration of her lesbian sexuality. It's also about burnout, stress, social anxieties, not like coming of age, but like coming of like adulthood
Yeah.
type issues of like, I'm not sure where I fit in. I don't know what I want to do. I keep trying these things and they're not working, which is something that I can relate to, like trying to like go on a mission of self-discovery and yeah, there's a lot of like really interesting queer introspection that goes on. And I really like the fact that she is not afraid to be a flawed character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like portray herself as a flawed character and really kind of says the things that you don't ever really say out loud. And kind of puts it all just like really vulnerably on the table. And I really like that.
Well, in keeping up with Pride Month, to follow Leah's example, since the 3rd volume of this comes out this month, I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to recommend this one. I Want to Be a Wall.
Ooh.
So this one is about an asexual woman and a gay man get married because they're tired of people asking constantly when they're going to get married. Like,
I love that concept.
but when they get together, they end up, finding out more about themselves and each other and what they're comfortable with. It's very well done. It's, again, one of those adult protagonist stories, and the adults are allowed to have like the kind of arc that you expect from like a teenager in like a manga. It's like, oh, I get to actually discover who I am, what I like, what I don't like. And since they're around people who are comfortable with who they are, they're allowed to sort of like come out of their shells more. The 3rd volume comes out this month, which is why I wanted to recommend it. But the 1st volume is so amazing because it's got lots of validating moments of, you see her in high school trying to figure out like, why don't I feel the way people think I should? Like, why don't I have a boyfriend yet? Why don't I have a girlfriend yet? Is there something wrong with me? And she discovers the word asexual, and she's like, aha, that's why. And even after she discovers that, she still runs into people who are like, well, when are you going to do XYZ that you're supposed to be doing as like a woman? And she's like, why is it not enough that I'm comfortable? Like, I'm already comfortable the way I live. Why isn't that good enough? And she meets a gay man who's in the exact same situation. But I would recommend that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lee. Bring us home on Rex.
What's up? I started watching The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic.
That was a rec one week from a reader,
I believe so. I love this show because Usato, who is the main character, just gets dragged into like this whole isekai scenario because basically like
hit the button.
Because the 2 friends he goes to school with, they hear this magical bell, and that means they're supposed to be heroes for this other world. But because he just happened to be walking with them, he also gets teleported.
And doesn't have powers?
But no, he has powers.
Oh, okay.
He's got healing magic, which is super rare in this world, apparently. And like the squad captains for this like royal army. And she finds out he has healing magic and basically just like scoops him up and yeets him to her like house of horrors so she can start training him. And like he's and it's called the wrong way to use healing magic because he learns how to be like a battle healer, which is crazy.
Because that's what we had talked about before. Yeah. That's been on my list.
Yeah. So it's I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's been a really fun watch. So
awesome. Good Rex this week, y'all.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. The list grows.
We also received a couple recommendations from the fans, and some of them did it using our question form. Look at that. Use the question form, y'all. From London, I'm in love with a villainess.
That's been on my list for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And from Fred, via our question form, hitting the isekai button, Ascendance of a Bookworm, and Soma Spider. So what?
Wasn't that recommended last week?
It was.
2
weeks
People
in a
be
row.
watching that.
Yeah. If you guys would like to submit your questions or your recommendations, hit got.cr/anime effect questions and we'll see them.
And now you got to say your part.
Leave a 5-star review
There you
on
go.
Apple
There you
Podcasts.
go.
Listen, the chances of one of us reading your question or recommendation on this show increase by 1 billion %.
Stonks.
If you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And not only does it help with
what 1 million %, bro?
not only does it help with reading it on the show, it helps the show. And if you like the show, tell your friends about it. Get them listening.
Also,
That's
leave
the
a
best way to help
5-star
us out.
review on the Essential Manga Guide.
Oh, yeah. And leave a 5-star review on
Yes.
Essential Manga
There you
Guide
go.
on all platforms.
All platforms.
Put it on your Goodreads.
Put
All
it
right.
on everything.
Now you can put on your mailman outfit.
Okay.
It's mailbag time, y'all.
Part's the little hat.
This first question comes from Fred via our question form, who also hit us with a recommendation this
Hell
week.
yeah. Fred with the double.
Fred says, I'm a big fan of the show. My name is Fred, and I would like to know... That rhymes. I'm a big fan of the show. My name is Fred, and I would like to know...
Is that a
Show and know.
haiku too? Let's see.
If your life was the basis for an anime, what type of anime would it be? Like, my life would be like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So
Oh!
what is yours?
That's a good life.
So
Wow,
what is yours
Fred.
and why?
Colorful life. Festive life.
There's always something happening.
There's always, yeah.
And it depends on which part of JoJo's. Because if you're talking Golden Wind, you're hanging out in Italy.
Yeah.
If you're talking Stardust Crusaders, you're going through a pretty intense trek across the desert.
If you're talking about Stone Ocean, you're in jail. We need clarification, Fred. The table wants to know.
Okay. I feel like an anime immediately springs to mind for me on this one, and it's The Promised Neverland. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No,
You're just like, they're all watching us.
mine's Nichijou.
Oh,
that's a good
just-
one. That's a good one.
There is something so peaceful about the chaos of Nichijou,
Mm-hmm.
and that the most mundane things can be like earth-shattering, and also the vice versa. The most earth-shattering things can feel mundane.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever really like
Thought about
thought about this question.
I feel like I got one for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Komonomichi Rise Up, where
Okay.
you are a wrestler reincarnated into a world where you're wrestling a bunch of people.
hell yeah. Let's go with that. Hell yeah.
man, I want to say like a dark comedy, but it's probably something also in the vein of Nichijou, like Azumanga Daioh or something like that. I don't know. I probably maybe a little bit of Wotakoi.
I feel like I knew you were going to say it. I was
Yeah.
like, I could see it.
Because it's like,
signals
yeah,
are
we
going
work in an office and like I go home and I like nerd out with my partner and like, yeah.
I like that.
I'd say Wotakoi because that's literally my life is nerding out at work and then going home and nerding out some more and just learning how to unapologetically be nerdy.
Brianna Lawrence, thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us
This
this
is so
week.
much fun.
Oh, thank you.
you're going to be
Our
back.
favorite.
Like, the reason why we're calling you a guest host and a special guest is because you're coming back
Right.
on the show.
Right.
Correspondent.
Like next week, what's happening?
She's already like, no, just go ahead and slot me in. It's fine.
We'll have our people call your people. Our people is us and your people is you. So
We'll Slack
talk.
message
We'll
each other.
talk.
Right.
Actually, you have an agent, which is way cooler.
Yeah.
You can find Bri's book, including the Essential Manga Guide, wherever books are sold.
Pick it up.
And check out Bri and her wife's queer review blog at wellarethey.blogspot.com. But Bri, thank you again so much. And we can't wait to talk again.
Thank you for having me. This was great. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Anime Effect, brought to you by Crunchyroll and the folks over at Sony Music. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Bing.
Crunchyroll Presents The Anime Effect is hosted by me, Nick Friedman, LeAlec Murray, and Leah President. We are executive produced by Jonathan Hirsch, Shara Morris, and it's in the walls. It's me.
Wait, you're in the walls now?
Well, Leah was looking around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
They're following me. The government's following
Is
me.
the lore that you're in the walls now? Our lead producer is Kyla Carnero, and our associate producer is Zoe Culkin. Patrick Emile edited and mixed this episode's audio. Kimani Oletu filmed, and Aaron Neidick edited the video. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Tamika Balance-Kalasny.
We'll be back next week with, you guessed it, even more anime. Well, I won't be here next week, but you'll be in good hands.
Ooh, we'll have a returning guest host coming.
Ooh.
It's not Bri.
Well, I'll be
I would-
there
you
in
know.
spirit. I'll be there in spirit because we've got some amazing guests next week
Yes.
that we're going to talk to. So,
Oh, it's going to be great.
Hell yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about
There's
it.
nothing you can do
nothing you
about
can
it.
do.
Later days, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Today, the four of us together are going to see just how powerful the effect of anime
And manga.
really is.
I didn't get to do it with you guys.
Okay, hold on. We're going to take it again.
We're gonna take it
I'll
again?
pause
Yeah,
for
let's do
you
it.
to say
Let's do
and manga. I'll pause for you to say and manga, and then we'll say really is. Okay.
Sweet.
And then all hands in on 3.
Yes.
And the four of us together are going to see just how powerful the effect of anime
And manga.
I messed it up. I messed it up. I started going for it. I was too eager.